You are from Mims, Florida, right outside of Orlando.
Right.
What was growing up like for you?
Growing up, so mom and dad were split up when I was really young. So, but they were always in my life. I was a only child. I have a half sister, but she's not in my life like that. So, hold on, I need to. But only child, and I was just troubled. Like, I just got in trouble a lot. I think now that I can realize it, I was just attracted to just negative attention. I was just very rebellious. I was just a bad kid. But I was really good in school, really good in sports. So in high school, I played volleyball and tennis, varsity. And my senior year, I was like number 1 on the tennis team. Really good academically, but I just liked to get in trouble. Like I was fighting. I was just doing all kinds of, I'm getting nervous.
No, acting out. And I did the same thing when I was young. And it was like, at the time, I didn't see it as negative attention. I saw it as, I just want attention. I did it through humor. I was like really bad in school.
Yeah,
and
I was like a class clown type of thing.
Legit, the teacher would be in the front of the classroom. I would, like, when they turned around, I would like throw something across the classroom just to get everyone to laugh. And for me, it was because I just never felt really worthy or
I think
noticed.
it's because I was an only child. Like I just didn't have enough attention. But my mom and my dad have always been like super involved in my life. And I was always really close to them. But in middle school, I got kicked out of middle school. And it was because I just got into a lot of trouble. I was fighting a lot. I was just, for no reason either. My grades are up, A student, but I was just bad. Like for instance, I got kicked out of middle school. I got expelled and I had to go to an alternative program to finish out the year. And in this situation, I had a teacher, her name was Mrs. Gray. And just for like context, like fell asleep at the desk and she took the textbook and she slammed it on the table to say like, wake up. Yeah. So when she did that, it just pissed me off. And my initial reaction was to take the textbook and just throw it across the classroom, like to her. And that's when they were like, all right, like you have to go to this alternative program. And so this alternative program's like in the hood and like it's filled with like bad kids with troubled families. Like you could tell like these kids were like actually bad, but see, I wasn't bad. Like my mom, my dad, my grandma that I was surrounded with, like they were all like decent, like normal people. Like I came from like a good family, you would say. But so it was super confusing. And then so that kind of like drew the line. So after I got out of that alternative program, my mom, single mom, dad, he was in another marriage and he was about to have another kid with my stepmom. And so they were like, we don't know what to do with you. So they were like, I can't. And so I was moving back and forth from Mims, Titusville to Hollywood, because that's where my dad was living in the beginning.
All the way down in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's like a, 3-hour drive or something like that?
And so at this point, he owned restaurants. So he owned a restaurant that he was trying to run with my stepmom. And so then he brings me down to Hollywood to go to school there. And so that was like 6th grade, I think. And so I'm going to school there and I'm living with him and they're trying their hardest to like take care of me. And so I get expelled from that school. And that was in Tamarack, Florida, which is like down south. So I was going to school and I was just doing rebellious things for no reason, like bringing eggs to school and dropping them down on kids for no reason. And so that I got in trouble for. And then I don't even think I knew how to smoke a cigarette. And I would take one from my dad because he smoked at the time. And my dad was supposed to pick me up in the car loop. And I brought the cigarette to school and he was late in the car loop. So I lit it in the car loop, like in front of all the teachers. And so then I got expelled in 6th grade. And then my dad's like, this. Like, you cannot live here. Like, I cannot take care of you. My mom's like, well, she just got kicked out of school when she was over here. So like, what do we do? So their last option was to move me to my grandmother's house, my mom's mom. So I went and lived with my grandmother in the beginning of high school. So, and then I got into sports. So I started playing volleyball, and they were trying to get me involved in like a lot of sports. So I was doing volleyball. Over the summer, I was doing beach volleyball. And then off of that season, I was playing tennis. Mm-hmm. And I was like, good. Like, I made varsity. And then, so that kind of made me, it took up a lot of time basically. So like, I didn't really have time to like get in trouble that much anymore. But on the weekends, like I was hanging out with friends, drinking. And that was like the start of like my experimenting with things. So I would notice that I'm drinking with like all of my friends and stuff, and they kind of had like a cutoff point, or they like wouldn't do it again. And like I was just this outcast where like I would be hanging out with like decent people, and like I just wanted to do everything to the extreme. And I didn't know it then, but that's kind of what started this whole roller coaster of drugs and alcohol. So
this show is sponsored by Open Recovery Addiction Help. Whether you're newly sober, in long-term sobriety, or even maybe looking to make a change in your life, Open Recovery offers 24/7 support right from your phone. It's anonymous and packed with tools to help you stay connected, stay accountable, and build the life you deserve. Download the Open Recovery Addiction Help app today and take the next step in your recovery journey. It's funny because when you start to notice your friends, like everyone's going home at a certain time, or, you know, people are stopping the drug use or the drinking at a certain time. And I would always be like, what the fuck? Like, where's everyone going?
I was always the one. Yeah.
We're not doing this on Monday as well, and Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday, like every day of the week, before school, after school. That's when I started to notice the difference in, like, for me, the disease of addiction was very apparent when I started to notice those patterns of behavior and thinking going on in my head.
But it's crazy because you don't know anything's a problem until it becomes a problem. Like I can look back and notice it now, but then like I notice now that like I was the one that wanted to make these crazy decisions. Like I was the, what do you call it? Like I was just.
You were the one leading the charge on just insane behavior. For
lack of better words. Yeah, exactly. And so the drinking and everything, and I to this day, like I never really had a problem with drinking. It didn't become until like substances. But I was the one making like the worst decisions. And then, so I get into a relationship in high school.
How old are you at this point?
This went on from like 2011, I think it was. So I think it was the end of 8th grade, like beginning of 9th grade.
Okay.
And I was with this person for like 8 years.
Okay.
And like I thought everything was just going fine. And then, so the drinking, what I was going to say is like the drinking I could control. Like I still did crazy things drinking. Like I would just, I had to black out. In other words, like I had to make sure that I was just completely blacked out. Like I didn't ever know to this day how to just have like a couple of drinks. And then it came with the, just like trying things. Cocaine I tried, never really had a problem with that. And then it was like doing pain pills. So I tried like a hydrocodone, and then that was the start to like a terrible roller coaster. So let me think.
Were you doing pain pills with this guy that you were in a relationship with?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys were kind of doing it together.
Yeah.
Okay. Was he the one who introduced you to your first pain pill?
He was the one that introduced me to it. And then now I say like I'm the one that makes the bad decisions. Like he introduced me to it, but I think he knew how to just do things normally. I didn't.
Yeah.
So like I did with the drinking, And then it's crazy because then you move on to other substances. You don't know how like powerful they are. You don't know what they're going to do to you and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was a whole different ball game. So I start doing that, having no idea about addiction, having no idea about physical dependence on anything. Like, so I start doing that. And then it was just slowly dissipated to this. I don't want to drink anymore on the weekends with these people. Let's just do this. And then we will just go fishing. Like we'll just go hang out. Like we don't have to go to like a party or like a bonfire or something this weekend. And then every weekend became every day. And then every day became all day. And then that's what started like this whole opiate addiction thing.
At what point did you graduate from hydrocodones to the next level, which I'm assuming was Percocet, or unless you jumped to something stronger?
At what point? Wait, say that again?
So you're dating this guy, you get introduced to hydrocodones, Vicodins, and you're doing them for a while. How long until the Vicodins really aren't working anymore and then you jump to something stronger?
I mean, this point, it took a few years of doing that to graduate. Like, and it's because I didn't know at the time what I was doing. I didn't understand. I didn't know what like physical dependence was. I didn't know what like a withdrawal was like. And then so I did this for a long time. And then, life just happened. So I didn't realize that I was like, hey, I'm doing this. Like, you're doing this every single day. And then you're like, oh, let me just try to take a break. And then you go to take a break and you're like, I don't feel so good right now. What's happening? I remember I took a video on my phone and I was like Snapchatting like mom or friend or something. And I'm like, do I have like the flu or something? Like, I don't feel good right now. I'm sweating. I like feel like I have actual flu symptoms.
Oh yeah.
And I promise, like I still remember this day. Like I was in the hallway to go to the bathroom and I'm taking this video. And it's so crazy because I had no clue what this withdrawal was. Like I was withdrawing from the things that I was like doing to myself. So, but all of this was a span of like 6 years probably to move from one thing to the other, to the other, to the other.
Okay. What was the next drug that you started to use in the opiate family once Vicodins weren't really doing it for you anymore?
It was heroin.
You went straight from Vicodin to heroin?
Yeah. I mean, I dabbled with like the 30s or whatever they are, like the blues.
Perk 30s.
I dabbled in that, but then it moved straight. Like it was like a vicious, like quick switch up. So I started to do, and it was somebody I was working with. And at this point, nobody knew what I was doing. Like, because I was pretty close with my family, pretty close with my friends. And I knew the decisions that I was making, like, I knew I was not supposed to be doing this. So I tried like my hardest to mask what I was doing. Get what I'm saying? So, but it was like a quick thing. And like for the longest time, I had a grip on it until I didn't. So, and I don't really want to touch base on like exactly what I was doing.
Yeah, of course.
But we'll just say that I moved quickly onto like the worst of the worst.
Okay.
Out there.
So
honestly.
Yeah. So was your boyfriend at the time, was he doing the same drugs that you were doing as well? Or did he kind of stay in that first mode?
He just stayed in that first mode.
Okay. So he was just doing hydrocodones casually, not every day, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he knew the dangers of doing worse things. And he was that strong person that's like, I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. That's out of the question.
So you're then at some point hiding it from him.
Yes.
What you're doing. Mm-hmm. Okay. What was that like? That double life that you're living?
Unfortunately, I think for a long time, like I was really good at it. Cause like I throughout the whole process, I was really good at just hiding everything. Like from my parents, from him, from myself. Like I still made sure that I had a job. I still made sure that I had a home and a car. Like I still made sure that all of my shit was together. But it did get difficult, worse and worse. What was I going to say?
You were a fully functioning addict.
Yeah, I was for the
going
longest
to
time.
work, keeping your, priorities in line, and then living this. Is it exhausting doing that?
It was so exhausting. It was so exhausting.
You're wearing all these masks.
Yeah.
And did your parents pick up on anything, or did anyone around you? Who was the first person that kind of noticed once you started using harder drugs that maybe jumped in and said something to you?
Nobody ever really did. It was probably my mom. But even then, like I was able to manipulate my way out of this thing every single time. There's one time where I guess I overdosed, and I was still dating the ex, and I wake up like in an ambulance, and I knew what had happened, but they didn't know what happened because they didn't know how like severe the situation was. And then when I go to the hospital, there was like a toxicology. What is that? Toxicology is like a drug
They'll
report.
give you the
And I think like I don't know if it was just opiates or fentanyl was in the report, but I was able to convince them that it was something I took at a party that was just laced and like, and so I got out of that situation completely. And then they just kind of just ignored it because I was still hanging out with them every day. Like we would go to the beach, we'd have like cookouts. Like we would just, I was very involved, and it didn't look like I did. I was able to make it look like there was nothing going on all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. So it took my family and friends and everybody a long time to figure it out. And the only time they figured it out is when I was honest about it. Otherwise, I was just extremely manipulative.
Yeah. Did you stay with that guy?
No, I stayed with him until my birthday of 2018.
Okay.
And in my mind at this point, like, I'm living this double life. I don't want to be bothered anymore. It's getting like exhausting. Like I need everybody off my back. What am I going to do? We went to Halloween Horror Nights for my birthday in 2018. And we got into an argument, and I used that argument as a means to break up once and for all. And so I ended up leaving him at Halloween Horror Nights that night with his parents because his mom came to the birthday party thing. And so I left him there, and then I go and hang out with my friend. 3 days later, I moved from Mims to Tallahassee. My friend got me a job working for like a corporate housing company. I was like a company representative or something like that. And I moved to Tallahassee. So I up and leave this 8-year relationship. Can't breathe. I up and leave this 8-year relationship, and I go start working in Tallahassee. And I just left everything behind. Never looked back to this day. Like that's how that ended. And I knew that I'll regret that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but that's what I did because I don't know. I was not in my right mind at that point.
Well, I've had similar situations like that. And the reason I did those things, not necessarily because it was the best move for me, dumping an ex or getting out of a relationship or completely leaving, pulling a geo and just moving somewhere else. It was because I wanted the freedom to use how I wanted to use. And that's a very dangerous situation. So you're now in Tallahassee. You don't have this boyfriend anymore that you need to wear the mask in front of, right? And you're kind of just free will, just rolling with it. Where did it go in Tallahassee? Did your using
I took it
get
and
out of
ran
control?
with it. And honestly, when I moved to Tallahassee, I kind of fell back on all like the bad things that I was doing. And I just had a couple of friends that went to FSU. and I was hanging out with them. And I wasn't really using like substances, but I was drinking like crazy.
So you stopped opiates and then you just started drinking?
Yeah.
Interesting.
For a while. Yeah.
Did you try to do that like on willpower? Like I'm going to put the opiates down and I'm moving to a new place. I'm going to restart.
Yeah.
And then your alcoholism just went insane?
Yeah, so bad that I was living there, and I think it lasted only like a few months. And I was drinking, doing that blackout thing every night with people. I was in like these dorm rooms. I was in like these fraternity houses. Like, and I thought that I did things extreme. No, they did things extreme. Like I could not even get down with them. And I totaled my car in Tallahassee. And I call my friend and I tell her like, hey, I totaled my car. Like, how am I going to work? How am I going to get things done? And she's like, we'll figure it out. And I was like, she's like, rent a car, do something. And I'm like, I can't, like, I have to go back home. So her and I actually had a falling out because she was disappointed in me. Like, her and I have been best friends since we were young. And she trusted me enough to give me this job and give me this opportunity. And I burnt it to the ground. And so I leave Tallahassee after I total my car and I go back to Titusville to live with my mom. And I think I enroll in school and it didn't last long at all. And then I was just back to the races. And we'll just say that things from then on just kept going downhill worse and worse and worse. And I'm still trying to mask this worse and worse and worse. So then I start burning bridges with family members, friends. At this point, I'm just isolated completely, trying to like figure everything out.
It's all hands on deck.
Mm-hmm.
You're living with your mom. Does your mom notice now at this point?
Yeah. That's when our relationship starts to, and then she's married. So my stepdad, who is an amazing person, he actually they were going to get married anyways, but things started getting so bad to the point where they're starting to intervene with like, let's try and get her some help. Mm-hmm. So they start, because they didn't know anything about that kind of stuff either. So they're like clueless as well. Like, how do we help her? What do we do? And they get married at a courthouse just so that before their actual wedding that they were going to plan. I think that's how it went. Just so that I could get put on his insurance. Because he had really good insurance. He works out at the Space Center. And they were like, we need to get her into rehab or something. Mm. So, and I will always be thankful to him for that. Because he did so much for me. Like, they tried so hard. And I just kept tumbling and tumbling and tumbling. But it was like a learning experience for both of us. For all of us. Because I didn't realize what they were doing. And they didn't understand what they were doing. But he got me onto his insurance and I go to rehab for the first time.
What year is this when you went away to treatment?
2018, probably.
Okay. So this was like right when you got back from Tallahassee.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't have my boyfriend anymore. I go to rehab and that was my first experience. And then I'm there for like 30 days. And
so you completed the rehab, the inpatient?
Every single time. Mm-hmm. And I did. I never fought to go. If my parents were like intervening and they were like, go, I would go. Mm. So I never fought or like hid until like the last time. I'll get to that. So I go, I complete it and I get out and, you know, like your first, they say like a pink cloud or something like that. Like you're just like, you know what? I learned everything I need to know. Like now I'm going to be good. And so what they did is they bring me back to Titusville. And I don't remember if they did this time, but like they're trying everything and they write like a contract and they're like, job, school, curfew. Like if you're going to live here, like they're trying their ways of keeping me put together, I guess. And at that time, I was like, you know what? It's a good idea. So then I just get a job and, trying to think and keep track of all of this.
Well, this is your mom and your stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
So they love you, and they were like an overdrive to help you and help hold you accountable.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you had parents that cared and wanted to be part of your sobriety and wanted the best for you.
Mm-hmm.
But then it shows the power of addiction, because I was in your spot. I went to multiple rehabs. I went to multiple outpatients. Everyone around me, my family, everyone's pleading with me, trying to.
And they trust you when you get out, because they don't know either that like things could just go south. Like they believe like,
oh she's
my
good
God.
now.
Oh, she's good now.
Yeah.
Everything's good. And I believed it. Everything's good. Everything's good. But what I did is I kept the same friends. I kept the same kind of workplace. I kept the same mindset. I wasn't open to anything spiritual. Like I wasn't open to the God thing. Like when I was in rehab and they were doing like these prayers and stuff like that, I'm like, shut up.
This isn't for me.
This is not for me. You guys are actually crazy.
Yeah.
My mind was so closed to that kind of stuff.
I get it. I've been there. So you get out and then you go on this pink cloud. Mm-hmm. I've experienced the pink cloud as well. It's new, right? It's different. Maybe working out a little bit, feeling good. How long? Because I feel like for an addict or an alcoholic, the pink cloud only lasts so long. You need to be working some kind of program and building some kind of community or whatever it is, doing something for your recovery. Because then that pink cloud runs out. For me, it was always the 4-month mark. It was like 90 to 120 days is where I would relapse. And I kept doing that. And I would be like, all right, I'm going to go to meetings, but I'm not going to get a sponsor. Or I'm just going to go to one meeting, get a sponsor, say I have a sponsor, and then never go to meetings again. I just never did anything for myself and to work a program. And I would always relapse. I
was so hard-headed that like I did not need these meetings. That's a cult. I did not need a sponsor. They don't know anything better than I do.
Yeah.
And I can do this on my own in my mind, which is crazy because in the end it kind of worked out like that. But which I don't condone that. I did I got where I'm at now from like so much experience and like trial and error and like what works for me. And I do work a program. It's not meetings, but I don't need all these things. So I'm going to go hang out I stay low for a little while. And then I'm like, I'm going to go hang out with this friend, smokes, drinks, does all this stupid shit. And very quickly back off to the races. And it wouldn't even last 90 to 100 days for me. It was more like 30 to 40 days, if that. And I'm going to do this. Not going to smoke that weed. I'll have a beer instead of vodka. Like I'll do this. But I'm going to keep the same environment. And no, it doesn't work like that. So you do one little thing. I had a drink, boom, that night I'm blackout wasted and my mom and I get into an argument or something like that. Or I come home and then I lived in like so much guilt and shame for what I was doing because I thought I was so slick and like smart and like hard-headed. But I knew the choices I was making was not the right thing, but I'm still going to overturn that and I'm going to do it and I'll make it out the right way. So each time that happened, it just never worked out, like every time. And so the same kind of thing happened for a couple of years where I would go back to treatment. And like that, it was just that same song and dance for a little while there.
Can you walk us through, let's say, the last 3 months of your use, when you were using drugs and partying up until you get off of drugs in 2022?
Yeah.
Can you walk us through the last 3 months and then how you ultimately ended up getting clean?
Yeah. Which starts to make me feel better now that we're about to start doing good things.
Let's talk solution. No. Let's talk solution.
So, yeah, same thing. Go to rehab. But then at this point, I'm like super manipulative and I don't need meetings. I don't need like a sober living thing. I don't need to be home. I'm going to manipulate my mom and my stepdad and this therapist at the rehab center. And I'm going to tell them that I don't need sober living because those are terrible people to be surrounded with. I need to be in my own apartment one that's close to the outpatient program, and I need to be living on my own because all these other things didn't work. This is what's going to work. And because I had such a great support system and my mind wasn't that great at the time, my idea was to just manipulate the shit out of them to get what I want, because I still didn't have like I was not good in my mind of a person. So, and look, that worked. So I told the therapist, hey, I've been here a couple times. Those sober livings, they give me bad ideas. They lead me in the wrong direction. They want to pay for it. So if they're going to pay for it, try to convince my parents, if you talk to them, they'll do it, that they should just pay for me to live in my own apartment on my own. So he calls them on the phone. It works out exactly how I wanted it to. So they call them. Therapist calls my mom and stepdad and says, hey, she seems like she knows what she's doing. It seems like this is the right, she seems like she's in her right mind. Like she knows what she's talking about. Maybe she does know what to do. So since you guys are at this point, they tried a sober living that was like almost $2,000 a month or a week. No, $2,000 a month for me to live in. And so they're like, so the therapist tells him, just get her an apartment in Melbourne out next to this outpatient thing. And then we'll just see her like 3 to 5 days a week. And they do. So we find an apartment, 1 bedroom, whatever. It's in Melbourne Beach. And I forgot if it was in Melbourne. They signed the lease, and that was, so this is the ending part. So I'm living in this apartment by myself in Melbourne. I'm going to this outpatient program. Things are going good for a little while. Not really. I kind of fell back a little bit. I wasn't going too crazy like I was. Like I learned more manipulative tactics. I'm going to the outpatient thing. COVID strikes. And I never got it until I did. So then everybody's getting COVID tests and I get COVID while I'm in this outpatient program. So I have to stay at home and quarantine for 2 weeks. That was it. So I stay at home and quarantine, and I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing. When I get back to the outpatient program, they drug and alcohol test me. I fail. So they're like, you can't be here.
You pop negative on the drug test. You get kicked out of outpatient. Do you stay in this apartment? Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming the usage then ramps up after that.
Ramps up terribly.
And
I stay in this
things
apartment.
are out of control. Mm-hmm. Let's go to 2022.
Okay.
When did you eventually get clean?
Of May of 2022. But I get out of this outpatient program, and then I have a job, have a car, have an apartment. I'm isolated completely. At this point, my mom and my stepdad are disappointed in me, but I'm working. And so they were always very financially supportive also. So mm-hmm. their tactic to like punish me would be financial solutions. Like, oh, well, we're not going to do this for you. We're not going to pay for this. We're not going to pay for that. I don't need you to. So then right before I go to jail, things just got really, really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And they stopped paying for helping me pay for my apartment. They stopped paying, we stopped communicating completely. And I go to, they want me to go to rehab again. And I say, no, I'm not going. At this point, I'm fucking done with that shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to figure it out. Like, this is my life for the rest of my life. And I'm just going to figure out how to make it work. Because obviously this isn't working. I'm not going to keep doing this shuffle.
Yeah.
So then they're asking me to get help. I'm like, no. And so then I lose contact with my family and friends. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm living in my apartment and I don't want shit to do with anybody, and they don't want anything to do with me. Like, they've tried so hard. They've done so much for me, and they're done. And we lose connection and communication for a while. And then they're starting to come to my house and ask me to go get help. And I'm like, no, like, we're not doing this. And at this point, it gets really dark and I'm really just depressed. I'm filled with shame and guilt. Like, I just couldn't even be a good person anymore.
Yeah.
So then they ask me to go back. I say no. They keep coming to my house. And then from my apartment, I go and I rent a hotel. I shut my phone off. I throw my phone away. I'm not talking to anybody. And I go and buy like a little burner phone type of thing after, because my mom shut my phone bill off also.
Mm-hmm. You got to call the dealer.
Yeah, I got to do something, right? I have to have a phone. And I went no phone for like a week or two. And I'm scaring the shit out of my parents. And they're trying so hard, but they're so mad at me. And they're like giving up, like they're on their last straw. And then my mom, I finally reach out to her and she's like, please, like, let's try to make amends somehow. Like, why don't you come meet me for lunch? And I say, after hiding from her for like 2 weeks, I say, okay. And I had her laptop with me at my house, and I brought it because I was using that as like a communication thing for the longest time.
Yeah.
And so then she was like, bring the laptop, come meet me for lunch. And I go drive from Melbourne to Titusville, and I'm sitting in the gas station parking lot and trying to meet her for lunch. I brought her laptop back. I'm like, where are you at? And cops swarm my car. And she had been planning this. This was their last attempt. I guess somebody might have told them, like, none of this stuff is working. Like, she needs to go to jail. So the cops swarm my car, and I'm kicking and screaming. I'm holding through like this. And I'm like, I'm not going to jail. So that's why I got like a resisting charge.
They open the door to get you out, and you're not. You do starfish and I'm not get out.
Going nowhere. Yeah. Like, and I'm running around, and like they're trying to get me from out of the car to inside the other car, and I'm not going. Yeah. So that's why I got the resisting charge, because that was like 20 minutes of just like. So, yeah.
They lock you up.
They lock me up.
You go to jail?
And if the police report says, there was a lot of other things that was in the police report. The main thing the police report said was that I stole a laptop and an Okuma fishing pole with a $200 reel on it.
Ooh.
Like, that was my burglary charge, like, that I got caught with, I guess. And I go to jail for the first time. I've never been to jail. I went once when I was like 18 years old for like disorderly intoxication for like a couple hours. My mom came and got me in and out, which was like a field trip. Yeah, exactly. And in my mugshot, I'm like, because in my mind, I'm like, my mom is not going to do this to me. Like, she's going to get me out. They're going to get me out. So then I'm like, I remember all of this. I'm in like a holding cell, booking or whatever it's called. And they're like, you can use the phone. Calling my mom. No. Like, hangs up. Call my stepdad. Call my grandma. Oh, maybe you should sit in there a little while. Call my dad.
Grandma.
Yeah. And they're all just like hanging up the phone. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yep.
And I'm like, no. Because I'm getting out, right? I have a bond. I've never been in trouble. And like all these like jail people are like, oh, you just get out. Like, have somebody post your bond. But mind you, when you're in there, you don't know, like, it's difficult to use these things. It's difficult to use the phone. You got to have like some password. Like,
of course.
You can't. And then you have to have money, and you can't get or do anything without money if your outside people are not helping you. Like,
so you had nothing?
Nothing.
How long were you in jail for total?
2 months.
You sat in there for 2 months?
I sat in there for 2 months. So I was in there the first month. And in the first month, I was in just like I was just in isolation because the detox I had was just so bad that I couldn't go to general population because I was out of my actual mind.
Was it detox from fentanyl?
Yeah, it was just from everything.
What was the detox from fentanyl like?
I remember all of it. I was just in a complete psychosis. Like, I was just in a complete psychosis. Like, I was, I'm trying to think.
Physically, what were you like?
Physically, I was not well. Like, I was having to be held up to take showers. Like, I wasn't eating. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what time it was. Like, it was so bad that, like, they wouldn't put me in a normal population. Like,
general pop.
They wouldn't put me in general population. Like, I sat for the first 22 days in this little, like, glass bubble because I had to be, like, monitored and, like, and I don't really remember most of it, but I just remember being in, like, a complete psychosis. Like, I was having, like, these, like, just, like, vivid, they weren't even dreams because I was awake. It was a psychosis. I'd never been through, like, a psychosis before. I'm awake, but, like, I'm having these dreams that, like, I'm the president or like I'm underwater and, like, people are trying to kill, but I'm awake. So honestly, I think I remember, like, being in there and I'm doing, like, this kind of shit. You know, they call them, like, window lickers or something like that. And to the point where, like, I talked to the psych doctor, like, at the jail, and after, like, 22 days, I guess I just finally lapped out of it. And they were just like, and so I wake up one day after doing this psychosis shit, and they're like, and I'm just like, hey, like, what's going on? And they're like,
you're normal?
What the fuck is going on? Because I was doing all this whack ass shit the whole time. I was like, what do you mean? Oh, I remember I was like, I'm back. Like, I remember saying that. Like, I remember slipping out of the psychosis back into, like, my mind.
Reality.
And it's crazy when you're in that situation because you can't get yourself out of it. Like, I knew what was happening, but I guess I could say I know what that experience is like. Because, like, there's some people that get stuck like that. They don't ever get out of it.
Yeah, of course.
But, like, in that moment, I knew that something was off, but, like, you can't do anything about it.
So you get out. Was that the last time that you detoxed from?
Ever.
So that was so that was the end of your usage. And okay, so that's the start of your journey, your sobriety journey.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so how did you end up getting out of jail?
Oh, yeah, let me tell you. So I was in there for 1 month. And I get out. I finally get a hold of a friend. I forget how it happened, but somebody posted my bail. I guess that's how it worked. Somebody posted my bail. And I get out and I get a hold of my, like, money. I had, like, cash, I guess, hidden away in
the motel.
I don't remember where I got it from, but I was able to get my car out of the impound because they impounded my car.
Yep.
And I was able to, like, get my phone back. And then I go to this restaurant when I get out. I'm trying to get my car out of the impound. And I call my mom. And I'm like, what the fuck did you do? And she hangs up. Because I forgot while I was in jail, she put a no contact order on me. So I'm like, okay, they don't want to talk to me. So then I get in my car from the impound. I had a friend pick me up and I go to my apartment. The door, like, the locks are changed. My mom, which I don't know to this day how she was able to do that because the lease was in my name. But long story short, the apartment's not mine anymore after a month. It's gone. She talked to the landlord and she might have told him what was going on and he, like, helped her out. So she moves all of my stuff into a storage unit. I had no idea. So I'm like, where the fuck is my apartment? And I'm calling her. She's not answering. She's just answering, hanging up. So I was out for like 4 or 5 days and I go and stay with a friend while I'm trying to figure things out. I get a call. I forget if it was a call or an email or something, but I have a court hearing after 4 days of being out of jail. It's a bond hearing. So I show up to it. I go back to court. My bond gets revoked for violating a no contact order.
Right back in.
And after being in this, then they finally moved me to general population for a few days. So I get to know everyone and I'm like, I was being kind of rude to like the guards and they're like, oh, this is like a revolving door. Like, you'll be back here. You'll be back here. I'll never fucking be back here and see you guys later. Have fun. Like, you're going to live here for the rest of your lives. Like, and you're in there with animals. So, like, they're mean. Like, you have to, like, I'm fighting physically, like, beating the shit out of people on a daily basis. Because it's, like, animalistic behavior in there.
Of course.
So, mind you, I say all to these people, bye, because I finally get to leave.
You're right back like a week later.
In the same exact pod.
Were they waiting for you?
They saw me come in. It was the most humiliating
Let's go. We're getting revenge on this one.
Oh my God. I'm back in there for another month. And now I realize, like, my family really has just cut ties with me. Like, they're done.
They cut you off. They were done with you. They were done with your shit. Were you a bit entitled?
So entitled.
All right, I want to address that because I know the audience is going to blow up the comments. So let's stay ahead of that.
I was so entitled. Like, I knew everything. I was better than everybody. I was just not humble whatsoever.
Yeah.
And today I really, really, really am. So then I was
meeting you. You are extremely humble. That's why I'm like shocked to hear all this come out of you.
That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy.
No. So, entitled, like, I got my ass handed to me.
So another month of fighting, conflict, you get out. What was your journey like staying clean on the outside? And like, what did you do in the beginning once you got out the second time?
So I get out the second time, and for the first time in my life, nobody's there. It's like, no mom, no dad who have held my hands my whole life. Good. And so I say, this experience, like, when people are like, oh, you've been to jail, like, I was so pissed off for the longest time. That is the best thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. Like, it was probably hard for my family to even let go of me like that. But that's the best thing that could have ever done for me because it changed my entire life. Like, even sometimes I hang out with them and my mom's just looking at me and she's just like, this is just surreal. Like,
insane.
It changed me as a human being.
Yeah.
So I get out and I take this crazy plea deal where I have to, the plea deal I took for my little offense was 1 year in a state-ran rehab. Don't put
rehab. No, we're leaving it. In a rehab.
State-ran rehab facility.
Mims, Florida.
Mims. 1 year in rehab, followed by 2 years of house arrest. After that, followed by 3 years of drug
court.
Whatever, probation.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever it was called. I forget.
But okay, so these accountability measures that are put in place, this happened in 2022.
This happened in 2022.
Okay, so this is exactly what you need.
Yeah, like God intervened, like, and so they say, like, I'll talk about the God thing. Like, when you're in jail, and your entire family and life just like drops out on you, they say you call for God, like, when there's nothing left, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm in jail. And I'm reading the Bible. I'm in jail. I'm praying to God. I'm like left. That's all that I have left to do. So I go to this rehab facility and was supposed to be there for a year. I only stayed there for 6 months because good behavior, my family started to, and now my mom, because I know it was so hard for her to stay away from me because she loves you. Yeah, of course.
You're her daughter.
Yeah. And her only daughter. So, and we had a great relationship. So she's got a no contact order. We have one on each other. We're not supposed to talk to each other. And she's talking to me behind her husband's back, like, we're doing this, like, we're trying to speak to each other. And she's like, I want to see you, but I'm not allowed to. Like, can I come there? And so we slowly start to rekindle our relationship. Mind you, I'm like, I don't trust you because of what you did. Like, I was still mad at the point.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to try to fucking put me back in there. So that's what I thought, what kind of scheme she was doing. So, like, we're talking, we're not telling anybody about it. So then I think I saw her while I was in there. Anyways, my dad, this is when dad starts intervening. my real dad, who I have never been closer to in my entire life. He starts visiting me during the visitation hours at the rehab, and he sees that whatever, I'm doing good. But they don't believe it all the way yet because they're like, you could get out and like things can just go south.
Spiral.
He helps me pay for a private attorney. So then I go to court. Long story short, I go to court. They get me out of the rehab facility like 6 months early. And he says, hey, you can come to my house. My dad, no bullshit. He's like, you can come live at my house. You fuck up one time, get out.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay. So I leave the rehab facility and I had my car there. I leave the rehab facility and I go live at my dad's house in West Palm Beach in like December or November of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
But while I'm there, I'm on community control. And you're allowed to have a job and this and that. And like, you're held accountable. Like, of course. And I was done. Like I'd been through some crazy shit. Like, I'm not going to get myself in trouble. Like, I never suffered any consequences before, which is why I kept doing this stupid shit over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to my dad's house. I get a job. And that's when it started. That's when things just started to look up. Now.
So you start building this new way of life. And this is new for you. You haven't been clean and sober in years.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it like? Like, all right. So for example, give us an example of you're out of this controlled, sober environment. You're now living in West Palm Beach with your father. For me, a huge trigger was boredom.
Yeah.
And what did you do if you were bored while living in West Palm Beach, being in the public?
And that's why I say this, like, that's why I believe in God today. Like, so from when I was in jail, I started this like ritual thing where I pray like at night and in the morning.
Mm.
I don't know what I'm saying. Like, I'm having conversations like, hey, I don't know if you can hear me or if this is how I'm supposed to talk to you, but like, help me be a better person tomorrow. Help me make the right decisions. And so anyways, to this day, I do that multiple times a day, especially at night, like ritually. And to help with boredom, I just had this, I need water.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a huge tool, a higher power. You were living on your will. You were your own higher power for so long. You started believing in something greater than yourself. And it started to give you hope, it sounds like.
And now today I believe it's not my will. Like, my will's going to get me in trouble every time. It's like God's will. And so I started thinking in a way like, it's not that I'm like Bible thumping, like religious. It's just that there's principles in the Bible that's like, do the right thing. Like, do the right thing when nobody's looking. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with others. Just that's really like my mantra is like, just do the right thing and don't lie. Don't treat people like shit. Don't treat yourself like shit. Just be an honest, humble, be extremely humble. Like today, like I do not forget where I came from. I don't judge others. I don't live with guilt today. Like that feeling of guilt, like in your chest, like in your stomach, where like you lied to somebody, you got caught using, or you got caught cheating or something, like that feeling of guilt. Like I don't live with it whatsoever because I make sure today that there's nothing that I do on a day-to-day basis that I need to worry about. Like I try to just do the right thing. And that's what I mean when I say like the principles of the Bible type of thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, when you keep your side of the street clean and you're doing the right thing and living by, a higher power's will versus your will, you have nothing to worry about. Mm-hmm. You have no guilt. You're not walking around with this guilt and shame, and it's not compounding.
Right.
So go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like you were saying, what do you do with boredom? So when I moved down here, God bless you. When I moved down here, I was chunky from sitting around for so long. I was like pushing 200 pounds.
No way.
Oh, way. And so I was like, honestly, everything I said that I was going to do, I've done it. Like I was like making all these like plans, like start going to the gym, save money, buy a new car, get your credit in line, like in check, like just do all these things, which like, I don't know, kept me busy. So anyways, I got into the gym. The gym was a big thing because changed my life. Like I started lifting and like that taught me a lot of discipline.
Mhm.
That taught me a lot of like accountability. It took up a lot of time for me. So I keep forgetting to like, I keep leaving things out. So a big thing was you change your whole entire environment. I do not speak to anybody from my past. I don't keep in contact with those people. I used to like post on Facebook, like just to let people know what I was doing. Like, no, I don't do that stuff today either. I have my own little life over here now. I'm at peace, working on myself. Like that's enough for me. So I started going to the gym. I pray all the time and I choose to have good people surrounded by me. Like, honestly, I only hang out with my mom and my dad and my aunt now I have a great relationship with, my dad's sister. And I have like a couple of friends, but these friends, they don't use. I've had like a couple little relationships here and there. They don't use. Like you are who you surround yourself with type of thing.
You've
like,
built this community that holds you accountable on a daily basis and that want the best for you. That's amazing. I want to go back to you going to the gym. Physical, a huge part of this disease is physical. For me, I struggled with depression, anxiety, everything under the sun. When I go to the gym, it's crazy that you get the endorphins going, you work out, that anxiety, that depression, just gone.
The gym is like, so I would say like God's number one. And then it's like my family, and then it's the gym. Like without the gym, I don't know where I would be. Not only does it give you confidence, not only does it helps you mentally, it helps you physically. Like it's not even about just getting in shape. Like it teaches you like life, like to consistently go to the gym. And people like make fun of it sometimes, like, oh, like you're like a gym junkie, like, and people that don't work out, like they don't understand it, but it has nothing
mental
to
stability.
do. Yeah, it has nothing to do with like changing your appearance. Like that's just a plus from it. It like it's discipline. It like helps with your mind. Like it's literally like going to therapy. Like it helps with everything. And I've stuck with that for 3 years now, consistently going to the gym, literally 5 or 6 days a week. And then with time, and it teaches you like the power of what consistency of something will do. Like with consistently going to the gym, you're going to eventually start to look better. Like you're going to start to get in shape. But that's what that taught me.
You can apply those principles to any other area of your life. And then, I mean,
which it has.
I know this just from getting to know you though, but like you have also applied those principles to your work ethic as well.
Yeah.
And like rebuilding your life financially to get where you want to be eventually down the road and achieve some of those long-term goals. You went back to school too.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm in school online. I'm doing everything online because I'm working.
Yep.
And I'll just take a few classes every semester here and there. And I'm just going to shoot for like business administration. And people ask, like, what are you going to do with the business administration? Like, that's so broad. Like, I don't even know to this day. But I mean, I'm working towards something, which now I think of everything as like, because of the gym and because of the addiction stuff in the process, like in my mind, everything is habit forming. Like if you start doing something for too long, or if you stop doing something for too long, then that's what it's going to be. Like that's what I say with the gym, like taught me, like consistency and discipline is like the key to my life. And that's why I feel like things are just.
So with going back to school, you talked about business administration. There is a lot that you can do with that. And do you think your newfound humility enabled you to become teachable and want to learn something? And
100%. Like today, I truly believe like I do not know everything. I'm not right about everything. Like I'll look at people on the side of the road, like homeless people and stuff like that. And like back then I would, just for like example, like back then I would say to them, like, maybe judge them or something like that. Like today, like I believe that like that could be me at any point. Like that's an example I try to give.
Yeah, you're no different.
No different. Nobody is.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about where your relationship is today with your parents?
Yes. My relationship with my parents today is the best. That is one thing that I would not jeopardize my sobriety for or anything, is the relationship that I have with my parents today. Especially, I don't know if it not even especially mom or dad, like it's both of them. Like growing up, I was more on mom's side because I lived with her. So her and I, but both of the relationships are just night and day difference. So mom and I were always just like really codependent on each other, but we never really had like a good relationship. We fought a lot. We argued a lot. We disagreed a lot. And today, we do not argue whatsoever. She comes down, I go up, we hang out, we have a good time, we laugh, like genuinely laugh. She trusts me. I trust her. Like it's this relationship that I've dreamed of having, because you can't choose your parents. So like both of them were equally had things that when you're younger and you have like parents and you're like, oh, you can't choose your parents. So they did the best with what they had. They weren't perfect. Like they were kids at one point too, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, we didn't have like the best relationship. They were always there, but we didn't get along. So today we get along insanely. And to hear my mom say like, I'm proud of you all the time, or just.
That's a beautiful thing.
Now my dad, and I hate to say it like this, but he was more of like how I used to say it is like a Disneyland dad. So I lived with my mom. So he would come down every so often and we'd go do something, or he'd buy me some stuff, and like we would keep in contact here and there. And that was it. And so we never really had like a really close relationship until this happened. I've never been closer to my dad than I am today. Like, I think like I would die for my dad. I think he would do the same thing today too. Like, he's my best friend. I talk to him like 10 times a day.
Wow.
I hang out with him, with my other friends. Like, him and I will go to the gun range together. We go to eat together. He comes home, like we hang out together. And being here for 3 years now, we have not been in one disagreement, not one. It's just always just laughs. And like, I've just been able to feel this relationship build with my dad that I wish I could have always had. Like, I love him so much. And it sucks because I wish we could have just had this my whole life, but it took the sobriety thing. Another crazy thing. So my mom and dad separated when I was like really, really, really young. And then they despised each other. They did not speak ever up until maybe 2 years ago. Like, when I say they just didn't get along, let's just say that they hated each other.
Yeah, of course.
Didn't speak. Today, because of my sobriety, I think my mom will come down and my dad will be here. And my mom's in a happily married. She's married.
Of course.
But we can all hang out together.
That's beautiful.
And she'll come hang out with my dad and his sister, who they have not been close my whole life. And like everybody, because of me and the choices I've made to like get better, like it brought the whole family together, which I'm able to sit back and see now, which is just crazy. It's crazy.
It sounds like your family has healed as a whole.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's
what it does.
It's really a beautiful thing. Can you just talk about really quick the trust with your family, and like, do they come to you now for advice or depend on you for certain things?
Yeah, they do.
Because I know 3 years ago, they weren't depending on you for anything.
Not at all. Like, they were just like, there's no hope. This is never going to happen.
Yeah, they cut you off.
They cut me off, which is something they would have never done either. But no, I don't just think, like, I know that they trust me today. Like, they trust what I say. They trust what I do. They come to me, like, the tables have kind of turned. Like, they come to me for advice. Like, I finally feel like a responsible, like, adult, and like, it's a good feeling. And my dad's, like I was saying earlier, like, my dad struggles with like drinking and stuff here and there. And he even went through like a lengthened sobriety, and like, he doesn't say it to me because he's not really sappy with me like that, but he said to my aunt, which like means everything, that like, if it wasn't for me coming to live down here and the relationship that we have, that he wouldn't have been able to do that.
Wow.
So
I want to point out the obvious for any parents listening right now. It's pretty obvious that once your parents showed tough love and cut you off and stopped enabling you, I get it. You have a child. I have a daughter. If I ever went through something with my daughter, it would be really tough for me to, cut that off. Mm-hmm. And, parents in some cases enable and don't mean to. They just love you so much that they want to support you and what's best for you. But in most cases, parents need to disassociate and cut you off.
If I ever see, like, that's the advice I give to people today because of my experience. And it doesn't have to be because your parent, like, you can be really close with your parents and then like the kids doing something wrong. I tell people to put them through what I went through. Mm. And like, eventually things will look out. But the enabling, the not using tough love, the trying to just coddle and just comfort your kid because you love them, like, that does not work. Like, in addiction, it doesn't matter how much money you spend. It doesn't matter like what you do for them, what you buy for them to try and get them to like do the right thing. They're not going to do it unless they want to, or unless you put them through a situation where they have to suffer a real consequence like I did, because that never worked for me. They did absolutely everything. And the only thing that worked was that whole situation. Them cutting me off for the first time in my life and leaving me alone and just shutting everything down for me. That's what worked.
That's powerful.
And I don't even speed on the road today. Like, I feel like I'm such a good civilian that it's scary. Like, I don't think about doing the things that I used to do. Like, I mean, I was just violent, just bad choices. It could go down to just littering, lying, like just things like that. I don't do stuff like that today because of this entire situation. No speeding. No, I don't do anything wrong. Guilt doesn't live inside of me at all.
You don't walk around with that guilt and shame anymore.
Never.
Yeah. I want to thank you for coming on. Your story is very powerful. And,
thank you.
If your parents listen to this, shout out to them for putting their foot down, because we don't know if you'd be here today if they didn't do that. Mm-mm. And there are a lot of parents that, enable and think it's just, and, they love and they love and they love, and they're only hurting their child. So shout out to your parents too.
Shout out to my parents.
It's a beautiful thing. So thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.